What happened to it? It grew. Milka. So this one's about chocolate. This is fun to play with. Because it's like a... It's old. If my estimations are correct, it should be from March or like April of 2020. It's approaching 2 years old, this chocolate bar here. This one right here. Hence why it looks a little weird. So it seems like, you know, between the two, the designs stay pretty consistent. You've got the big text, you've got the cow, the mountain thing, the swirly thing, the text, the information. Although interestingly, the information is different, but this information is the same. Let me explain. You see here, it's percent, 100%. So it's like all of it is alpine milk chocolate. They haven't changed the proportions. They may look different, but it's what's on the inside that counts. And it's basically the same thing, I think. On the side, yeah, same thing. Interestingly enough though, as you can see here, on one side there's a barcode, on the other side there is no barcode. And see, look, they've also both got like the same information on the pack. Yeah, right. So I should talk about this then. So this one expires in July of this year, 2022, 13th of July. I'm not sure. Maybe the reason, like, say there's this difference here, it could be because they're just from different countries. For example, like the order of their text. It says open here in different languages in a different order. See, this one here is at the top here first, but here it's at the bottom. So, onto the, I don't know, onto, you know, the big differentiator between these two, and that is one's bigger than the other. I have a theory here, and I believe that's because obviously this was probably in the stores in around March 2020, right? It was probably manufactured before then. I don't know, like 2 months, let's say. I don't know. I haven't done my research here. If I do, I don't know what I'll do if I do, because I won't. There we go. Problem solved. Arguably, around about when this was made, maybe a bit before, maybe, times were different. Around about that time, there was an extreme epidemic, you could say. So much so that, you know, I was affected. Of course I was. No, what am I saying? I'll just get that. It's a shame, but, you know. And, obviously, due to that, inflation has happened, right? And I think it speaks for itself. Pre, post, or during, that kind of implies that it's post the problem, but post, pre, there we go. You know, like this came before or around then. Since then, inflation. You know, the and they've inflated the chocolate as well, you know, in accordance with value, right? I'm doing a module on economics, so that's why I'm so knowledgeable about all this, by the way. Packaging is pretty cool. It's like shiny. And now, time for the taste test, taste comparison. See how things have changed other than, you know, inflation, right? So maybe that means this is less sense, although it feels heavier. But maybe that's just because of the greater packaging. I don't know. And it's also, you could say, you know, the expanding universe, how everything expands. Chocolate is, funnily enough, one of like the few things that are like preserved from expanding. Because, you know, it's a perishable good, so it's like, you know, it decays. But, you know, if it's still in its packaging, it doesn't decay. So, you know, that also means it's good to eat. Because, yeah, I left this like in my room, so it should be fun. Ooh, chocolate. That smells nice. It smells like chocolate. I don't know what I expect. Oh, That smells really nice. But hey, yeah, it's been preserved in this packaging. Let's show you the side. Doesn't look too bad. You can see like the imprint. Dude, it's... I don't have chocolate too much, so maybe that's the reason. Bit messy. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a chunk now. Look at that. It like crumbled. I guess that explains why the edges are kind of a bit crumbly, as you can see. I don't know. I wasn't sure what to expect really. Because honestly, I haven't really had this chocolate much before. I always thought it was just, based off the colour. I thought, it was like a kind of replica of another chocolate brand. You know, the one that typically goes darker. It's a darker purple. It used to be like a glass and a half. Now it's like a chocolate jug, right? Who knows? Maybe they've changed it from that as well since. Hey. At least with this one, you get like a cool cow. Probably from the Alpines or something, right? Alps. Is that how you'd say Alps, right? Not like the Alpines. Although maybe just Alps is like a shortened version. I don't know. Look at that cow. Is it cool? I should really get a glass of water. I'll be just a moment. Don't know if you heard that, but I fell over as I was rushing down the stairs. No, you can't really tell that thing. That was silly of me. But yeah, okay, I'm just going to open this one now then. Now this is interesting. Do you see the back? Yeah, you can see how the swells, right? Let me compare that with it. You don't really see those swells. See, let's see how they compare. Now, it's more different than I thought it would be. No, I got both. There we are. It's already starting to melt. So. Chocolate's messy, oh my word. It was definitely much smoother tasting it. The other one was like crunchy, or like soft rock, like how it, it's got structure, but like if you put enough pressure, which like isn't too much, like it just collapses. You know what I mean? See, the smell of this reminds me of more of like the competitor's brand. The smell of it, but maybe that's just because that's how chocolate smells when it's been made more recently. I'll try this one again. Yeah, I'll kind of go back and forth. You can hear that right? It's pretty crunchy. Ah! No, I was just scraping my feelings. Sorry. It tastes weird. I ate both of them with my mouth open. And you could barely hear that one. One more time. I'm just gonna... The microphone's gonna be here. And I'm gonna crack it right here. Both of them made a mess. Maybe this wasn't one of my best ideas. Eating chocolate. That was a really bad idea. Why did I think of this? Oh right, because I kept a chocolate bar in my room for over a year. That's why. Alright. I'll try and keep like a consistent distance. 2-finger distance. Two fingers. Clearly one's a bit crunchier than the other. Even though they're both Alpine milk. Isn't that interesting? Does that mean they're lying? Maybe. Maybe it's just time. Personally, I probably would prefer to have the newer one. You know, it just tastes better. It's not as crunchy. And it's definitely not out of date. Oh, I want to like clean my hands. They're just sticky now. That's the problem with chocolate. And also, you know, it's sweet. Personally, I'd rather savor something savory. Thickness, size comparison. It's really annoying looking back there because the light is so bright and it gets in my eyes and I can't, you know, actually properly look at what I want to look at because as I've flipping thin there burn into my retina temporarily. And what, blinking doesn't help, they say? Oh well. So, in conclusion, I think it's better than the present. Arguably there's what is this? Plastic? That sounds like chocolate. Oh my word. I don't think chocolate should sound like that, but maybe that's just what chocolate sounded like back then. You know, pre, as they say. As I say. No one says pre. After vaguely explaining it once. Look at this corner. It'd be pretty cool if I ate it, right? Cheers. So I haven't got one for you. Well, actually, let's see. No, I don't. This is the only one with that corner. I'm posing for a thumbnail here. Maybe I'll use it. We'll see. It tastes so much better. There we go. I've resealed it. Now I can be like, I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this thumbnail. Well, for starters, I could probably move this microphone out of the way. Chocolate's everywhere. And some of it's out of date. And some of it's dust. There's this on my table. Why did I... Obviously this looks like a big waste. You know, I just had four pieces and I said, you know, I'm not big into chocolate, you know, that's a bit of a waste. Yeah, you're right with this one, but not as much as this one, right? Yeah, but it's still in date, tastes good, and my dad likes chocolate, so yeah. And I told him in advance. I offered him chocolate later. But yeah. Ooh! Now that looks cool, doesn't it? And it's in camera.